Oh my gosh, everything is a hot mess right now. Bar is in jail. Shawn is out here using drugs, and Kyler can't come around the parents no more. You guys, we have so much to chat about, so stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
You know, we had to throw some Akon y'all's way.
The most appropriate.
The most appropriate, because Bar's locked up and they won't let him out. What is up, guys? We are back for another episode of Teen Mom Young and Pregnant. We're back from, kicking it with our families, getting full on turkey and mashed potatoes and all of that. I am your girl, Drew Jones. I could not do this show without my lovely team. What's up, guys?
What's up? I am Tyler McKinney. You said this was a hot mess. It definitely was.
What's up, guys? Mike Thieling here. This is the episode we've been waiting for the past few weeks.
Yes.
I like it.
So many things have come together. I mean, Robert's finally going home, but that relationship is not dead yet. It is like beating a dead horse. We actually all kind of had some disagreements about the Shawn situation. We got to get into that because,
yes,
we are on separate sides here at AfterBuzz. And as always, we have our baby of the week, and I think this week is extra cute, so you guys should stay tuned. But let's hop into, we've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah.
Briana finally asked Robert to go home.
Finally.
What is there to say? Why is the relationship still alive?
What is there for us to say? They barely said anything.
Yes.
So it's like, I think you should go home. Yeah. You too? Yeah. All right. Next segment. I was like, yeah.
That's exactly how it was. But you know what? When she was saying goodbye to him at the airport, I could see in her eyes that she knew that this was not going to last once he leaves. I just think she's done. She's done with it.
I took some quotes down when that little conversation was going on, just because I was like, why is this relationship... I stopped liking a guy, it's done. It takes very little for me to want to bounce back from that. But Briana just kind of likes to hold on. But he told her he loved her, and she didn't say anything to that. She kind of just kept hugging him, changed the subject. I think that could have been editing, maybe, because, MTV likes to be shady with things. But then he also told her, I love you, and she said, I'll text you. Which I was like, savage.
Oh, it hurt. Yeah, that hurt my heart. I know. Props to him. He really seemed all in. I liked Robert because, I'm a guy. I get it. It takes a big person to step in and be insta dad. It's another person's kid, and he really seemed to like her, and he seemed like he was trying to do the right stuff. I feel like she wasn't in it 100% even when they moved.
Yeah, no, she definitely wasn't in it. She's been over it for a while, but she's kind of been holding on, like you said, Drew. I don't know what she's holding on to. Maybe it's just the fact she likes having someone. And she did say that him leaving is going to mess things up financially. So maybe that's it.
A lot of stuff, right? They moved with the plan, okay, there's going to be 3 of us. So 3 people working, 3 people paying rent, 3 people watching the kid. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be like that anymore.
Yeah, he watched Brayson for 2 days a week. And then, 2 of those jobs being minimum wage jobs, you don't make a lot from minimum wage. I remember those days. It sucked. And so I imagine losing someone's entire income is going to hit them hard. And you're right. When she was talking about it, she did not sound concerned about missing him. It was more so just, it's going to really suck. Who's going to watch Brayson? Who's going to pay these bills? And I think that's a big indicator that she doesn't really mess with him like that.
Yeah.
It's not the right reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's actually right on it again, because when they were saying goodbye, he was really looking at her like, hey, tell me if this is it. I don't want to get a random phone call saying we're done. Just tell me, because I don't want it to happen more later. Right? I don't want to get more attached to the kid. Yeah, and that's the moment. We had one in the car. Now we have one at the airplane,
He's
airport.
giving you so many opportunities to break up with you.
So many.
Make my prediction come true.
And she just keeps skating on by. She's like, no, she should have just.
Very non-committal.
Yeah.
Well, we're committed to you,
hey.
AfterBuzzers. And Mike is going to tell you how we can keep this beautiful relationship flourishing, baby.
You know it, because our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. They're all just as awesome as us. All of our hosts rock. We got it from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There's no network that works harder to serve you guys, the television super fans. But we here at AfterBuzz, of course, we need your help. We need you to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channels, bring you all the goodness every single day here. By subscribing to our channel, we suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. It's that little bell right there next to the subscribe. I use it often for my favorite channels. Use it or don't, but subscribe so you get everything. So, subscribe for this channel. Check our other YouTube channels for all the different varieties of shows, and let us know you did so in the comments so that we can give you a shout out live on the air. I want to thank you guys for being the awesomest, the bestest fans ever, helping us to be the ESPN of talk.
Yeah, you guys already know we rock with y'all. We see you out here. Actually, Mike, you said you posted in a group about our show.
I posted in a Teen Mom group, and immediately the response was, "Cool, is Drew on there with you?" And I was like, "Yup."
I rock with
you
y'all.
know it.
We rock with you heavy. Are you guys on any other shows right now?
Not right now.
But
Not yet.
they will be.
I'm on
Yes, we
Survivor
will.
this Wednesday.
Okay.
And Survivor, I mean, I'm Teen Mom forever, but Survivor is my favorite show of all time.
Loves it.
I am pumped to talk about it.
Yeah, so you guys, if you all like Survivor, make sure to check that out. I'm on Real Housewives of Atlanta, honey. You know,
Oh, that's a good
getting
one.
messy, which we're gonna talk about that after this. So you guys should check that out
Hey.
that too. Speaking of getting messy, we have someone who's cleansing their soul, or actually cleansing their baby soul. Kayla decides to baptize Isaiah, and Stefan is not coming. Now, I think we all kind of had mixed opinions on this. So, Mike, since you took a deep breath, please share with us how you feel.
I was disappointed. I was disappointed because in the last couple weeks, things have not been going good. We had some violence, we had a restraining order, we had a lot of conflict, and I feel like, okay, if you really want to make this work, now's the time to step up. I get it, he's not religious, that's fine, but now's the time when he could have stepped up, come, support, show her mom some good faith effort, show her some good faith effort, and he dropped the ball.
I agree. I think this was a moment that he needed. Like you said, there's just been so many moments along the way where he hasn't been there. And for something like this, baptism, I mean, even if you're not religious, you could have just went just to be there. So
I feel that. I'm a little torn on the situation because I do think something big like that, like a baptism, you should be there. But at the same time, because everything has been so bad and it's been so hard to get them all in the same room, I almost kind of agree with Kayla where she's like, I was relieved because Stefan was happy I at least invited him, and then we didn't have to worry about the awkwardness. And I think Stefan, I would like to think he's taking his anger management seriously, and he's, knowing that there's a situation that could possibly escalate and choosing to take himself back. Because we got to hear him kind of talk with his mom, and it seemed very genuine. At least I thought it was very genuine. So
It does, but that's the exact reason why I was disappointed in him. Because if you are genuine, this is what all these guys can do that are trying to get back in good graces, right?
Yeah.
Make out an actual plan, and we're going to get into Shawn, but you make out an actual plan of what you want to do. Say, okay, look, things have been bad. I want to at least be in my kid's life. So this is what I want to do. I want to come to the baptism. I don't want to cause drama. Let me sit on the other side or something like that. Do some give and take so that you can show that you're giving the effort, but still take away the stress and not cause a heated situation.
yeah. But to play devil's advocate, do you think that maybe this is kind of, I don't want to compare it to like alcoholism or anything because those are super serious, but when an alcoholic is going through rehab and whatnot and they don't go into situations that they know could trigger them. Do you think maybe this was a situation that he knew would trigger him? And so he chose to kind of back off? Because Kayla's mom does go for the gut. Always. Like, even though she says it in a very calm tone, she does know exactly what to say to pick at people. And so I could have seen it going very poorly.
yeah, I would say that if there's any reason that he didn't go, that should be the reason, and that it's, he doesn't want to cause any issues, especially in a situation like that. So I can see that side of it for sure. But I like the idea of them sitting on both, like on either sides, keeping it separate but still coming together at the same time.
I can see it triggering him, but again, that's where you set it out, right? He said, look, I've been seeing a therapist. She says this could trigger me, but I still want to be involved. So tell your mom, this is what I want to do. I want to respect. And honestly, like, remember, it's still a kid. He's still a kid. Mm-hmm. You gotta eat some crow. Like, that's her mom. We need some respect. You gotta start rebuilding, and you have to fight to let it not trigger you. That's what it is.
Well, Kayla herself was actually triggered by her mom because her mom kind of goes in my opinion, goes in pretty harsh and starts accusing her of letting her be with letting Isaiah be alone with Stefan, and it gets really extreme. Where are we on this? Are we Kayla? Are we Kayla's mom? Because I don't know if I agree with Kayla's mom with how she came in that way.
You know what I am. I'm team parents all the time.
You're always team parents.
But look, in the beginning of the episode, I wasn't. But then we found out that she's lying to her mom. Okay, so mom was right. Right?
But the way that she comes at her is not helping. I think it's only making things worse because now she doesn't want to come to her mom because she knows it's going to cause some tension. So she does lie. So there's a cycle going on.
I can see it's overprotective. I understand where you're coming from if you think it's a little overprotective. But, I mean, look. I think moms know best.
But I don't agree with that. Love you, Mom. But I don't always think that your parents know best or elders know best. Yeah. Because, I mean, there are plenty of people out here who are, look at Lindsay Lohan. That's all I'm saying. I don't think parents always know best for their children. I was talking about Dina Lohan. Lindsay doesn't have a secret child, although she did try to kidnap those two children that one time.
That's another
story. But I think with Kayla's mom, this is how I think parenting should be done, and you're not doing it the way I think it should be done, so I'm constantly judging you. She consistently has this judgmental look on her face, and I don't think it's malicious. I think she, has a lot of love for Kayla and Isaiah and wants what's best for them, but I think she only thinks she knows what's best.
See, I don't get her judging Kayla as much as judging Stefan, and I think as a mom, in her head, what's stuck in there is that there was violence and physical altercation came out. Yeah. And for her, like, that's it. There's a big rebuilding process that has to go on for him to get back in the good graces, like going to a baptism and participating. But I think she, in her mind, is not getting past that, the physical stuff.
Yeah, and that's why I don't blame her for being the mom that she's being and trying to really regulate the situation, but the way she's talking to her could be different. The approach could be a lot different.
It's very dry. There's not a lot of sandwiching going on. I think Kayla's someone who doesn't need to be coddled, but I think Kayla has enough going on and enough pressure that if you want to help the situation, the best way for Kayla to work in your favor is to kind of sandwich her with compliment, critique, compliment. I understand that you want Stefan around and that blah, 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 whatever. But I think maybe this is the smartest route. However, I understand that you're his mother, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I think she's on the right, like, she's right, but she needs to present it differently. And I really admired, actually, Devon and Kayla's conversation, because Devon did go to Kayla's mom and told her about the Stefan situation. And I don't know. It's nice seeing young girls be able to talk something out like that, because I remember being 18, and that's not how all conversations go when you're 18. But kudos to them.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Devon telling her mom that Isaiah was with Stefan?
Here's the thing. I have a Kayla in my life that I met in high school, and there were some situations where you're like, you're not listening to me, so I know you'll listen to her. And it's like, it's kind of a tricky thing. I think it really depends on the relationship. I think Devon and Kayla obviously have that type of relationship where it's family at that point, so I don't think it was crossing a line, but I don't know.
I think what was weird is that Devon told Kayla that she felt like it was fine, as long as Isaiah was being supervised, but then she still went and told her mom.
Right.
It's like, don't make it seem like I'm doing something right, but then tell on me.
Yeah.
Right. Change your opinion. I don't know. I personally don't have any friends where I'm close enough to their parents where I would kind of go behind their back, quote unquote, right, and say something about it.
I wouldn't do it now, and but I remember being younger, and maybe not even necessarily 18, but I remember being in high school and, knowing a friend was going in a little too deep and she wasn't listening to people. And so it's like, all right, I got to go to your mom now because it's like, I don't want to see you go down that road. So I mean, they're still pretty young. So I don't know. I'm not mad
But
at
to
them.
Tyler's point, was she really not taking the advice? Because she was saying everything was fine, right? And then she went back to her mom and said, no, actually,
But
blah, 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 blah.
Kayla's known to kind of tweak stories a little bit. So I honestly don't know what the full situation is there.
Sure.
I think Devon has been the voice of reason for the past season. So I kind of am taking Devon's side on this just because we've seen Kayla be on some BS.
Yeah.
Devon tends to be the one who brings her back or the one who's like, okay, you're wild and chill. So I'm going to take Devon's side on this and assume that she probably was doing really what she thought was best.
And as a friend, you see your friend get hit on or dragged, whatever it is, and then you see that same friend take her child to see the guy that hit her. There's
Yeah.
like a battle
Facts.
between talking
I'm
and
that
not
friend. If you
talking.
broke up with one of my girlfriends in high school and did something dirty to them, I'm about to be 27. I still don't like you.
Yeah.
Like,
It's never ending.
I'm good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We have nothing to talk about. But we do have a lot to talk about with this Lexi and Kyler thing because I am so over Kyler. I'm so over Kyler. And so are Brandon, who is Lexi's stepdad, and her mom. They basically tell Lexi that Kyler's not welcome over at the house anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Mike.
Yeah.
You've been kind of like a ride or die for Kyler. I would be very interested to know your opinion on this.
So okay, for the past 2 weeks, I've been coming out that Shawn has been doing the best. I actually think this week Kyler's doing the best because obviously we don't get to see everything that happens, but to me, from what I did see, Kyler does not like being around her parents. Her parents do not like Kyler being around. And he basically said, yeah, that's fine. And Lexi said, I think what we need to do is just not have you come around the house for a while and let things cool off. And he was like, cool, that's fine. We were talking about it before during the show. And to me, it wasn't like Kyler said, well, I can't go over there, so that means you shouldn't be going over there either. And kind of control in that way. I felt he was, typically passive. They're both ridiculously passive, like out of control passive. So I think he was in line with his normal character for that. But I said, okay, I don't know in that situation. I try to judge everything that we're seeing at that moment in time. So being everything that happened already, what would be the best thing for him to do? And I think that's it. I think what he did is it.
I feel like it is important. I feel like it's important for parents to have a good relationship with their children's grandparents.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's something. My parents divorced when I was very little, and I'm so thankful that my mom was so close with my dad's side, like those grandparents, because I got to grow up with them and I got to be around them, and it was great for me because that was like two cultures I got to have. But my mom didn't necessarily always get along with my grandparents, but she put that aside so that I would be, I was prioritized. I feel like Kyler's not prioritizing Tobias or Lexi by refusing to sit down and break bread and talk it out with her parents. Because at the end of the day, I think Kyler is very disrespectful. You're not going to come into, you got my teenage daughter pregnant, now you're coming up in my house showing zero respect. It's not even a matter of like, oh, do this, this, and this. Just say hi.
Yeah.
Just have short conversations. We have all been in relationships with people whose parents either didn't like us or we weren't super fond of, and you just kind of grin and bear it because it's a messed up position to put Lexi in. And obviously Lexi's so passive that she's just going to side with Kyler, and God forbid something happens to her parents, you would hate to be like, wow, I don't talk to my parents because of some guy who
Sure.
barely talks to me.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Let me set the record straight. I don't agree that he does anything good with the parents. I don't agree how he treats them, or I don't agree with when he is over there that he doesn't talk to them or is rude or anything like that. I just think for what the situation is where they're at right now, that's the best thing he could have done. And I'm going to go back to what I said before. I think he can easily, if he wanted to, and if he was using his brain, set out parameters and a plan to make everything flow really good. Because at the end of the day, absolutely, if the parents and they hate each other, doesn't matter because it's all for the grandkid, right?
Yeah.
So he can easily put together a way, and same thing, he needs to eat crow eventually, right, and just go with it. But I'm cool with how he handled it right now.
Yeah, sometimes you have to bite the bullet. I don't know if you guys have this rule in your house, but like if you're in someone's house, you have to speak. Like you don't go to someone's house and not speak. You don't look at them, act like they're not there. That's not okay to do. It's just disrespectful. So Kyler needs to get it together or they're never going to have a relationship. And I think it's going to get worse as the baby gets older because he's going to start to realize that, you know, there's drama in the household.
Yeah.
I think Lexi needs to stand up for herself more. And needs to stand up for her side of the family more.
Yeah.
Lexi's absolutely equally as guilty in this situation. I don't want it to seem like it's all just Kyler hate because Lexi, I'll be damned if anyone ever talked about my mom, or I don't know, undervalued my opinion about my family the way that Kyler does with Lexi. It's really bothersome. Like I don't. Whenever they pop up on the screen, I'm already over it because I just don't like how he talks to her, and she just kind of takes it and then wonders why everything is the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she should definitely put her foot down.
Yeah, because your significant other is only going to talk down on your parents if you let them.
Exactly.
So the reason why he's so comfortable doing it is because she's let him do it for so long.
And I don't like the excuse of like, oh, well, he was raised by his grandmother and this, and this. Because listen, everyone has their own stories with their parents, grandparents, but like everyone has different relationships. I'm not saying my own was perfect. But I will say that despite how I was raised or whatever, I'm not going to go and disrespect people and I'm going to, do what I want when I want. There's no one in this world legitimately does what they want when they want. Like, you have to grow up and kind of like pick and choose your battles. And I understand that he's literally just turning 18 because it was his birthday this episode, but I don't know. This whole I'm grown, but I don't want to act grown. Like, buddy, that's not going to work.
I mean,
have fun with that.
It's ingrained somewhat in his personality because that's how he grew up, right? But you also easily have the mentality to see, well, those are not my parents that messed me up. There's no reason to treat them poorly or anything like that. Yeah, it's a terrible excuse.
But also, see how long, because sure, that attitude will last you in high school when you don't have any real consequences, but you're an adult now, so I'm just saying that's going to come and bite you in the behind pretty quickly. Speaking of juvenile behavior that bites people in the behind really quickly, Bar's in jail. Bar's in jail.
Surprise.
He decided to put the hands on Ashley, which we at AfterBuzz absolutely do not condone domestic violence whatsoever. It is something that is so not okay. And if you personally are going through that, please reach out to somebody because it's a no-go. I'm actually so disappointed. I remember when this was all happening on Instagram because she had posted like her bruises. And I remember the actual conversation that Shin and Bar had on Instagram Live because we were still in season. And so we were paying really close attention to it. And it's just very disappointing to see someone that you like resort to violence. But what do you guys?
It seemed like they had been, really in agreement. It seemed like they had been adult enough and intelligent about the situation that was going on. Look, our moms can't handle it. They can't be together. They're always arguing. Let's take a little bit of time apart and let it kind of cool off and stuff like that. And then, alcohol plays a terrible, terrible role in this kind of stuff.
That was the first time we ever heard about alcohol, I think.
I think so, too.
They had never brought that up before, but we found out that Bar does drink a lot, and that can cause some issues, obviously.
Yeah. I think Ashley was super mature in how she handled everything. Pastor T is really irking my nerves.
Yeah.
Because it's not the moment to say I told you so. And just because you say I was going to start out by saying I told you so.
Then you just started out by saying I told you so.
Exactly. And I just I understand. Listen, nothing satisfies me more as a petty Aquarius than when I've said something and I'm right about it. Because guess what? I'm right about a lot of things a lot of times. But you don't speak on it. You just kind of let it happen.
Yeah.
And you can do your quiet little smirk or whatever, but in that moment, be a mom.
Right.
Yeah, you shouldn't be proud about being right about that.
Yeah.
They focus more on the solution, right?
That was not the time.
It was more Pastor T being like, that's, I'm right and he's bad. But I also understand with Ashley being so confused because this is someone she spent so much time with, and to kind of see this new side of him, because people do change as they get older, and you know, he could have been a great, solid dude for leading up to this moment, and then this one moment ruined everything. And that's disappointing. And I don't know if I want to see them back together because I'm just so not okay with domestic violence. But at the same time, I feel like I feel like people can change. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Where do you guys stand on it?
I feel like he needs some time to reflect on this, so I would say he needs to stay in there for quite some time. The restraining order that she put on him, the temporary restraining order, I think that needs to be extended maybe. I don't know. I was thinking about that earlier. I don't know if she should extend it, but I think he needs some time apart from her, like no contact at all to just reflect on this whole incident.
I was proud of her for all the steps that she took. Good on you for calling the cops. Absolutely, if that stuff's going on, don't hesitate. You know, call the cops, and then good on her for at least taking the first step with the restraining order, because that's what she felt she needed, and that's what's best for the kid. As far as them getting back together, I don't know. I sound like a broken record this talk here, this panel, because I just say if he wants to get back in, you gotta grow up, right, mature, and formulate this plan. What are you going to do? Because all three of the guys that we've talked about today, where I've said this, right, they've really messed up bad. So you really have to come with it and expect to eat a lot of crow and expect to, you know, the moms are going to hate you, people are going to hate you, and you can't care about that stuff. You need to formulate the plan because you want to get back in your kid's life.
Yeah, because it's not just about you and your wants anymore. Exactly. It's about the kid. And I think I almost wish Kayla would have taken this route too, because I think making it, and she attempted to, but she kind of didn't hold off because she let Stefan, you know, end up watching Isaiah and stuff. But I feel like Ashley, yeah, she needs to completely cut him off. He needs to cool off. He needs to be alone and reflect on his decisions, because otherwise he was super smooth when on the phone, and she was even able to kind of step away from it and be like, okay, I know this game. I fall into it too much.
Yeah.
Which is really mature, too, because I can see all these kids are really young. So you can see some of the manipulation from guys. The girls want the best possible outcome. So they want to be a mom, and they also want to be with the baby's daddy, right?
Yeah.
That's the best possible. So you can see how they could slip. But she's, big props to her for recognizing it.
She's holding strong. I don't like the bars going on Shin's live and saying that she didn't, and talking about, I have to cover my ass because, he doesn't want the people's perception of him to change.
Nothing good can come of what he's doing. Nothing good can come of that.
Because now you look like a liar, and now you're telling Ashley you care more about your own image than rebuilding your family together.
Yeah, and the whole part about covering himself up, now the episode has aired and we've seen both sides, so there is no covering up. We've seen it.
Yeah, and what's messed up is I remember when all that was happening, he really was out there making Ashley look crazy, and it's so disappointing to see it now and see that she really was just trying to handle things how she thought was best. And also, let's be real, unfortunately, domestic violence really doesn't change people's perception of people in the spotlight, because Chris Brown still has a career, and Floyd Mayweather and loads of other celebrities who have done horrible things have still had careers. So I'm not really surprised that Barr is doing okay right now.
Yeah, and they are together, and I'm wondering what that was like, because the episode is aired now, but they're together at this point currently.
Because we saw them in the reunion, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They just did the reunion.
Yeah, we saw the pictures. That's tough. How do you watch something like that?
I don't know.
Because you're reliving it live with everybody else, and now all of the social media is going to be talking about that. When you, even if you've kind of, whatever you want to say, quote unquote, got over it when it happened, now you're reliving it 100
now
times
everyone
worse.
knows your dirty laundry.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tricky situation to be in. I mean, we've seen before where watching the episodes has ended up messing up their relations. I mean, Shin and Ashley were doing great for a moment, and then an episode came out and completely messed that up. So I guess everyone should pay attention to Ashley and Barr's social medias tonight, because you never know what's going to happen.
And we'll see what happens next episode. I don't know. Do we know if he gets out of jail within this season for him to come back on?
Tonight's episode, they said he was going to be out in about 2 days. So I'm assuming we'll either see him. I don't think we'll see him next episode just because she does have a restraining order. I mean, unless they see him film by himself and him talking to like Shin or something. But I don't think we'll see them interact for a couple episodes, maybe 1 or 2. I just like don't even want to talk about it because it breaks my heart. But Jade kicks Shawn out because after he decides to back out of a pumpkin patch trip, she gets a little suspicious, which he did look like he was struggling there.
Yeah, he looked ill.
She decides to give him a drug test, and Shawn, after begging and pleading, trying to change the situation, fails miserably, and she is absolutely heartbroken over it.
Is it bad that as soon as I saw the beginning of this episode when he was feeling all sick and whatever, I immediately thought he was going through withdrawal?
I
immediately thought that.
He was sweaty. He said he was having stomach pains, the like quick nausea. Those were all signs. I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was too sudden, and obviously, I mean, she didn't know what was wrong with him. It's not like he said he ate something bad. Like, there was no excuse for it. So, yeah, I felt the same way that you did.
Mm-hmm.
What's truly so sad about this entire situation is I feel like everyone has a trigger. You know, everyone's gone through something that if you decide to bring some BS into the life concerning that situation, they just want nothing to do with you. Mm-hmm. For Jade, she even said it, her entire life has been ruined by other people's drug use. Her parents are heavy, drug abusers, and she has literally watched her entire family fall apart over it. And we've seen her get emotional with her mom, stumbling and all of that. And so to see someone who claims that she can lean on him end up doing exactly what she fears most is just like so heartbreaking because Jade's one of my favorites for sure because she has it together. So it's just very heartbreaking to see her have to go through this, and it's just one more person she can't trust.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you feel then? Because we see her kick him out, but in last episode they were apart, and then all of a sudden started smooching again. And now this episode at the end, we see him right away making a comeback, coming in. What'd you think about that?
I think when you're a family member or loved one of someone who struggles with drug addiction, it's very hard to figure out where you are with them because on the one hand, you don't want that in your own life. You don't want to deal with that. But on the other hand, God forbid something happens and you're on the outs with that person. And you love that person and you don't want to see them struggle because addiction is a disease. But it's just, Chloe, I feel like is who you have to put first. And
Sure.
This is just not that I think Shawn would ever purposely bring harm towards Chloe, but I also think that the drugs can get in the way of doing what's best for Chloe.
One time, and it's a terrible situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's
All
it,
it
right?
takes.
One time of those friends coming over, and they want to just do something just in the other room or whatever. That's it,
Yep.
right? So I was saddened by all that, and then at least at the end, kind of what we've been saying this whole time, is somewhat structuring a plan to get back on track. And I'm not saying you structure a plan for Shawn and then he's immediately back in, right? Like, cool, you wrote something out, you typed something up, right? I'm saying formulate it, and okay, if he's hitting these milestones, are you going to the rehab every single week? Are you doing X, Y, Z? And if he really wants to, and he really wants to get back in their lives, he can absolutely work towards it.
We'll see. I think this is going to be different though because it is drugs and she's been dealing with it in her family for years. I know I was disappointed that he did the drugs, but I was more disappointed that he almost tried to make her feel bad for even asking for a drug test. Like, how are you going to get upset with me for asking, but you're showing all the signs that you're doing drugs?
Yeah, and the whole promising to go to rehab wasn't super assuring to me, only because I think if anyone's had a drug addict in their life, you've heard the spiel. You kind of know, like, okay, sure, like, and you want to believe them because you don't want them to not believe in them. But at the same time, you're like, okay. And this isn't the first time that we've seen speculations of Shawn using drugs. And I also just don't like the tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. As far as how to be a man, I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What was that?
Right. You have to proactively come with it and say, look, I messed up. I messed up real bad. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to, whatever. We'll make it up. I'm going to go to rehab every week. I'm going to come over, not see the kid. You're just going to drug test me every week, you personally, and I'm going to pay for it. And I'm going to do this third thing. And then after a month, let's reevaluate. And let's work on how I can get back in everybody's life.
I agree. We will see, because, I mean, we've seen a bunch of pictures of them together. So it looks like they're together. Or maybe they're just being cordial. I don't know.
And get rid of the bad influential friends. Drop loser friends from your life.
Please.
Just in general, everybody. If you got that one friend bringing you down, it's not worth it. Just drop them. Yeah, ice them out. Mm-hmm.
And in this process, don't try and make sexual advances. Like, if you're going to try and get clean with the smooching in the car, it's like, if we're working on something, I don't need you tempting me. Like, just stay away from all the kissing. I need you to work on you first.
Yeah.
I would
Exactly.
think that that's the best way to go.
That's showing maturity.
Yeah.
But you guys in the comments, let us know what you think. What do you think Jade should do? Should she let Shawn back in, or should she kind of hold him off for a hot minute? Let's hop into our gold star moment of the week.
Yikes. Can we play the jingle a little bit more? Let's think about this. This is the bad one.
Let me look at my
Hey,
notes.
Jonathan. All right, buddy.
It was hard. I think I know who I am.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You go ahead.
Think, I'm going to give mine to Devon and Kayla just for the mature conversation. I love, even though I don't necessarily agree with how everything went about it, I do really like that they could sit down, have a conversation, resolve it, and move on. Because I think too many times conversations are had, things aren't really resolved, and people want to reflect on what just happened. And I like that they kind of sat down, got it done, and were like, cool, we're good again. So shout out to y'all. Girl power.
Amen. I am going to say I gave them the gold star. Well, I gave them the gold star last week, but I'm going to give her the gold star. I'm going to give it to Ashley.
I stole mine.
This week. Oh, darn it. But I feel like the wheels are starting to turn. Like, she's catching on slowly but surely, and she's starting to see that she can't keep doing this, and Bar needs to pay for his actions. So I give it to her.
I agree. No, we'll give out another one. I give it to Kayla because at least she was trying to balance inviting Steph into the baptism. I'm glad she's going through with that stuff. That's her faith, which she believes in, and she's really trying to move forward. I've always thought she's really level-headed with the whole thing. So congratulate her on that. We might argue a little bit about the mom stuff, but like you guys said, she's keeping her in check, so okay. And I like her. She's doing great. And, by the way, sorry, I didn't drop this before, but I've never seen a baptism where all the girls were so dress coordinated. Like, they looked great. Like, good job.
They did look
That's
I was
like
impressed.
That's like the new wave. You
Is
know,
it?
like, people are being extra about stuff
That
like
was
that.
like, I was impressed.
Yeah, no, I liked it. Everyone looked
They
great.
looked good.
I thought that was really sweet.
Great baptism.
Yeah.
But you guys, let us know what your all's gold star moment of the week is, and we might shout you out next week. Tyler, you have our baby of the week.
Here we
I am
go.
so excited to
Yeah.
see. I can't with the sound effect.
Best sound effect.
Every time. So this week's baby of the week is Miss Holly.
Aw.
She was seen in a little velvet number on Thanksgiving.
Come on.
Stop it.
Come on.
I know.
Look at
So
that.
cute.
Look at the little pigtails, and she was matching mommy, Ashley. They looked adorable.
She looks like she's taking a selfie. She's already ready
I
for that
know.
life.
I know.
They're growing up so fast. It's like kind of. I was watching Teen Mom OG the other day, and I didn't realize that all those kids are like 10.
That's crazy.
And I feel like in a blink of an eye, these kids are going to be walking,
Yep.
and it's freaky.
It makes you feel a little bit old.
cute.
Babies age so weirdly fast. Like my nephew's just about to be 6 months, like next week, and I'm like, you just came out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's happening? Why are you so big?
Don't stop.
They don't
either.
stop growing. Spoiler alert. We don't have any news and gossip today, so the tea is dry. You know,
The tea is a
when the
little
tea's
dry.
not there, the tea's
No.
not there.
There was enough in the episode. though.
There was
Yeah.
so much in the episode, and like I said, we gotta all just keep an eye on everyone's social medias because I have a feeling there's gonna be some
Tonight it's
emotions
going down.
rehatched.
Oh, yeah.
But let's hop into predictions, shall we?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Predictions.
I'm trying to remember what happened.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I have one for Lexi
Okay.
and Kyler. I'm feeling like the parents are going to step in even more because slowly but surely they're kind of speaking their mind to her and to him. Lexi's giving her attitude back, but I think the parents are really going to start stepping in and giving their opinion because they're tired of the both of them.
They're tired, honey.
So tired.
What do you got?
All right. I think Lexi might move out with Kyler, which
Wow.
I think she doesn't. I don't think she exactly knows how much her parents do for her.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna happen. I think we're gonna see the aftermath of Barr coming out of jail next week, which I'll be interested to see. I hope that Ashley continues to stay firm in everything she's doing right now. And yeah, I think Brianna's gonna break up with Robert next
It's
week.
like 3 predictions. You're just padding right now.
Yeah.
Something's got to come right.
So let's see. Give me one of them. Give me one of them.
Yeah, I mean, you stole mine. You stole mine because I'm going 3 in a row. Brianna's breaking up with Robert.
It's
and I
happening.
think here's a specific prediction. I think it's going to be just a one-line throwaway in the episode.
Yeah.
I think they're rolling into like her and mom, and it's just a voiceover like, so Robert and I broke up and like that's it, and we never see the guy again. Done.
Amazing. I kind of want to see that. I like Savage Brianna. So
What?
So
I don't know. We
And
will
then
see.
wait, sorry. So last thing, do you think how quickly does she get a new guy if they do break up?
I think we'll give her a couple months. I think she'll chill for a couple months.
Couple
I
months.
Hope,
So no more in this season.
I don't think so.
Oof.
I hope not.
What's
I hope
single
not.
Brianna like?
She has too much going on. She needs to chill for a minute. But you guys, you all let us know what you all think. You guys can find me on all the things at OK Drew J, and I'm going to be on the Real Housewives panel right after this, so stay tuned.
Oh, yay. And you can find me, Tyler McKinney, at Tyler S. McKinney on Instagram and Tyler McKinney on YouTube.
You can
Yes.
find me all over at Mike Thieling. Come hang out with me on Wednesday for Survivor. Someone's getting voted out.
Oh, man. Until next time, guys, we'll see you all later.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.